Okay, we're back with my longtime friend and radio producer. We're going to talk about that as well, because AJ's got a couple of secrets about yours truly, including something called Naked Fridays, which we will discuss. But before we do that, I want to continue with AJ about his fantastic book called The Woking Dead, wokingdeadbook.com. That's a great gift. You mentioned so much in the first part of our conversation here, AJ, and I want to unpack it so that everybody kind of understands. You talk about the need for humor, and you invoked Rush. Rush was so good at weaving in humor and skits to keep people's attention, to lighten it up a little bit, because this is really heavy duty stuff. And we're talking about the destruction of the country, using humor, but also using mockery, sarcasm. And when you were laying it out that way, I thought about Saul Alinsky, who is the godfather of the activist left. And he wrote a book called Rules for Radicals. One of the most critical rules for the leftist radicals that he laid out is sort of exactly that. It's mocking, like our side, right? Mocking, pick the target, freeze it, humiliate it with mockery and criticism and relentless attack. So that's their MO. Talk to us a little bit, and you write about this in The Woking Dead, about how we can turn that around on them, because you've done it very effectively in your book.
Yeah, and look, the Republicans and conservatives, libertarians, activists, had some growing pains moving from the Reagan era to the Trump era. But, one of the things that we were crying out for was not, and God bless him, the dignified fighter, the fighter that won't go there. There's plenty of places John McCain wasn't going to go. And then, Mr. Magical Underwear, Pierre Delecto, he had a linguini spine. There was places he wasn't going to go. Now, granted, there were places the Bushes weren't going to go, and Bob Dole, Dole and Bush Sr. are from another era. I'll give them a pass because they saved civilization in World War II. But with the modern Republican Party, one of the reasons you got Trump is because political correctness and the control of the language had gotten so crazy that we needed like white blood cells to fight the infection. We needed something like the true vaccine. Okay. Trump came in like the true vaccine that we needed for the culture, where he threw out all the rules. Every time people got outraged, the poll numbers went up. And I truly believe that he is as popular as he is because he has become a counterculture icon. Remember when the left collected these people? I remember, whether it's the Burning Broads and Marching on Chicago, all the way through the steampunk era and the goth era, and the Dead Kennedys and the Ramones, but gangster rap music then in the early 90s. Trump has basically become that. And what conservatives have done is the one thing they have started to learn from the left is do not accept the premise from these people. Make fun of them, mock them. You just mentioned Alinsky. That's fine. The tactic can be used by us too. So I truly believe that Trump, the OG from the Golden Escalator, the reason even that first speech, right? They don't come here for love. They're not sending their best. To this day, they're still not sending their best. So, and you could make that speech today. So Trump, I think, caught lightning in the bottle the way he did, and he still has it captured like Zeus because of fighting political correctness, immigration, and the trade and China stuff. I think those three things, I think the Republican Party got tired of just being, sad sack conservatives, go home, drink a little green tea, have a little tapioca pudding, and better luck next time. But that is not what Trump and the Trumpian supporters are going to do. They're never going to do it. He didn't do it as a businessman. He's certainly not going to do it in politics.
Well, that's exactly right. And because he's not one of them, and in fact came out of two different universes, real estate and entertainment, they don't know how to handle him. They don't know how to combat him. And they've thrown the kitchen sink at the man. But he's not just a politician. He's actually leading a movement, which they also can't, they don't know how to combat that either. I mean, they're trying. They're throwing the entire weaponized government at us, including the DOJ and the FBI and the IRS. But there's one thing, and we touched on it earlier, AJ, which is the use of humor to disarm the other side. So the left, with all of the late night shows and Jon Stewart and, Bill Maher, who's coming around to our side, we could talk about him. But the left has like the lock on the culture, movies, television, music, the late night shows, comedy, etc. Donald Trump is naturally very funny. So when he comes at them with a joke that just like cuts them down at the knees, there is no comeback for that. And the left knows that, which is why they've come at us in this way. But don't you think that is a really important part of Trump's arsenal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no mold for this man. If there was one, it was shattered long ago. And, you talk about these late night hosts, and I don't include Maher in this because Maher knows that the Woking Dead will put him up in front of a firing squad too. And there are others, Ricky Gervais, Chappelle, we could name them. They kind of get it. They know the world, they have free speech for everyone or no one. And with Trump, you talk about these late night hosts. I mean, this is the laziest comedy in history, right? They basically got their old, Sarah Palin notebooks out and just erased her name and wrote Trump's name in because they can't figure out how to get him. They can't do the Bush jokes. They try the Palin jokes. But if you look at the monochromatic late night hosts, these are all a bunch of doughy, white, Gen X, dorky males. You all know it's true. You all know that the Beta Brigade at night, and they're all singing off the same song sheet. It's so pedantic and lazy. It's so lazy. And they're afraid. They're afraid because of the parent companies that own these shows. I mean, Kimmel flat out said it. Kimmel's on ABC. ABC's owned by Disney. He said, the ABC execs called me in. They told me, look, I'm not going to stop making fun of Trump. I don't care if I lose my audience. I don't care if you fire me. I'm not going to stop attacking traditional Americans and Trump supporters. So, and he basically said that to his bosses at ABC. And I guess Disney's okay with that. So we have to vote with our wallet. We have to vote with our channel changer, right? And there are plenty of other places you could go for some laughs, making fun of the left, whether it's the Babylon Bee, Monica's podcast, you can buy books. I mean, it's out there. So we're no longer just in isolation, with just a few talk radio hosts, which is why big tech wants to shut meme makers down, people that put up memes. So that's what this is about. They all want us saying the same jokes so we can all be the Woking Dead, just sort of brain-eating left-wing zombies.
Yes. All right, let's hit another quick break. AJ, so much more to cover with you. We've just skimmed the surface. More with AJ Rice. His new book is called The Woking Dead. Go get it. We're coming right back. Well, so many of us struggle to get the right number of fruits and veggies and fiber in our system, right? And we don't always succeed. Well, lucky for us, we have Balance of Nature. What better way to get all of your fruits and veggies plus fiber than with Balance of Nature? Balance of Nature fruits and veggies are made from fresh, whole produce. Their produce is powdered after an advanced vacuum cold process, which stabilizes the maximum nutrient content. And their Balance of Nature fiber and spice is a proprietary blend of fiber and 12 spices for overall and digestive health. So like so many others, start your journey to better health right now. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code America. Again, that's balanceofnature.com or call 800-2468-751 and get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code America.